This is Andrew. I'm live right now, about to do another stream, the daily YouTube and Facebook stream. Hope you guys had a great day so far. The day's not over yet. It's not even 5 o'clock here yet. It's 4:45. It's Thursday. I got to turn on my lights and stuff here. Yeah, so it's been a great day so far. Uh, been working all day, having a ball, as one would say. So thank you guys for joining. This is Andrew, and it is Life Hacks with Andrew. Today we're going to be talking about happiness, and I found 24 ways that to be happier. I guess happiness is subjective, right? Yeah, it's 4:45. Depends on your what you consider happy. I gotta fix my lights, guys. Sorry. All right, so yeah, it's a little too bright. Thursday. I gotta turn on my lights and stuff here. Let's see how that looks actually. Yeah, I think this is better. How you guys doing? It's Thursday evening. I'm gonna be doing a stream every single day for the next 2 years. And today we're talking about happiness. I guess happiness is pretty subjective depending on what you view as happiness. But I'm going over 24 ways that I found. I found these ways, a big list online, and obviously some resonate with me and some don't. So yeah, I'm going to go over. It's been a great day so far. Been working. I'm going to go over how they resonate with me and if I actually use them. So I think it's actually kind of fun to go through these ways that the internet, I just Googled ways to be happy, right? And I found the top post and I'm like, oh, this would be fun to go over and see if it actually, if any of this applies to me. Because there was a time in my life when I was very unhappy with my life, with myself, and to the point where I was suicidal, and it sucked, right? It was a terrible time in my life, and it was not constructive. It was not productive time in my life, and it ultimately led me to jail and really hitting rock bottom, right? Using drugs, going to jail. Then, jail was actually one of those things that helped me realize that I have a lot to be happy for. So today I want to go over these 24 ways to be happy, and let me know if you guys agree with these or not and what you feel about them. It's obviously not everything is going to be not everything's going to resonate with you, because everybody has a different view of what happiness is. But happiness to me means that I get to do whatever the hell I want with my life, and I get to spend time doing the things that I love and that I like to do. Happiness is relative too. I mean, you could be happy for a moment, or you can just be happy in general. When people ask, are you happy? What's your answer? Are you saying yes, or are you just saying, yeah, I'm happy, so that people don't ask? Because that's how I used to be before I went to jail. As a young adult and teenager, I was very unhappy with life, unhappy with who I was as a human, didn't like myself. and my outlet was, drugs, alcohol. And once I hit rock bottom and I was sent to jail for a couple of years, it basically reset me because it was kind of like a cold, hard slap in the face, right? So let me double check the sound here. Yeah, we're good. What's up, Shiv? How you doing? Steve, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Alexis, how you doing, man? Good to see you as well. Thank you guys for joining the live stream. Yesterday I streamed for like 4 hours. Today I'm just going to stream until about 6:30, which is about an hour and a half, because I'm going to be on another live stream with Kyle, the travel money guy on you're working. I'm going to be on Kyle's blog. We're going to be talking about life in Medellin and how things are going for us here. I actually don't know exactly what we're going to be talking about because he's got questions. It's going to be an interview on his channel on YouTube called The Travel Money Guy. So I'll be live there at 7 p.m. Colombia time. But today we're talking about happiness. When I went to jail, I was not happy. Obviously, before going to jail, I was not happy with my life. Before I start, let me start recording here. Welcome to another episode of Life Hacks with Andrew. Today we're talking about how to be happier. 22 ways that I found on the internet. 24 ways that I found on the internet to be happy. And I'm going to go over them and see if it's something that actually has worked for me, what my reaction is, and maybe if it's worked for you, you could tell me if that's something that has worked for you as well. So let's go over them. Let's go over, first of all, as a young person, I was suicidal at one point. I tried to overdose on meth and it didn't work, obviously. I was bad at everything when I was young, even trying to kill myself. I was not happy. After being in jail for a couple of years, I realized that I had a lot to be happy for. Things that I didn't appreciate suddenly became amazing in my life. Simple things. My life changed once I changed my mindset. Today I'm going to go over these 24 ways to be happier. So let's talk about daily habits. Slide number 1, daily habits. Smile. This is one thing that I absolutely agree with. I found on this list on ways to be happier. It says you tend to smile when you're happy, but it actually is a two-way street. We smile because we're happy, and smiling causes the brain to release dopamine, which makes us happier. That doesn't mean that you have to go around with a fake smile, but the next time you find yourself feeling low, crack a smile and see what happens. Or try each morning by smiling at yourself in the mirror. And this is literally something that I do every single day in the morning. Actually, I'm going to take off this thing. I don't even need it. So I'm going to start over because I want the recording to not have this on. Let's go back. All right, so I'm going to start over. Sorry for those of you guys that have joined earlier. Again, this is Life Hacks with Andrew. Every single day I'm doing a stream live about some sort of topic, usually motivational, business, life. Today we're talking about 24 ways to be happier. I found this list on the internet that gave us 24 ways to be happy, and a lot of them did actually resonate with me and I could relate to. So I'm going to go over them, and then the ones that I can't relate to, I'm going to tell you why I can't relate to them. But I think it's something fun, and I'm going to start finding lists, like the top lists when you Google something, and going through them and see, yeah, I relate with that, or I can relate to that, or no, that's bullshit, or no, I don't do that because of this. So I think that's kind of fun, and maybe you could do that too in the comments. If you like this video, comment. If you agree with something, comment. If you disagree with something, comment. So let's go over it. 24 ways to be happy. As a young person, I was suicidal at one point. I was unhappy with my life. I was not happy at all, and I tried to kill myself overdosing with meth, and obviously that didn't work. After being in jail for a couple of years, I realized that I had a lot to be happy for. My life changed once my mindset changed. Today, I'm going to go over 24 ways to be happier. Slide number 1, smile. I found this list online of 24 ways to be happier. And on this list, number 1 is to smile. And I absolutely agree with this one. Let me read you what it says on the actual list. It says, you tend to smile more when you're happy, or you tend to smile when you're happy. But it is actually a two-way street. We smile because we're happy, and smiling causes the brain to release dopamine, which makes us happier. That doesn't mean that you have to go around with a fake smile on your face all day. But the next time you find yourself feeling low, try smiling and see what happens. Or try starting each morning by looking at yourself in the mirror and smiling. And I completely agree with this because this is something that I've been doing for the past 20 years. Less than 20 years. It's been about 15 years that I've been doing this. One of my mentors challenged me to every day look in the mirror and look at myself in the mirror, smile, and say, I love you, and today is going to be a great day. I've been doing this every single day since, and it's been about 15 years. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe that I do this every single day, and I'm sure there's been 1 or 2 days that I missed. For example, this morning, I forgot to do it, so I went back after I left, and I came back home, and I looked at myself, and I said, I love you, and today is going to be a great day, while smiling. And my days start in a great way. Even no matter what's going on in life, when I remember to do that and I do it in the morning, you could even write it on the mirror with a marker, with an erasable marker, obviously, on the mirror so that you remember. Give yourself a mental cue as you're brushing your teeth or you look at yourself or you're combing your hair. You see it and you smile and you say, I love you and today's going to be a great day. And for me, it's made a big difference because, like I said, as a young person, as a teenager and young adult, I was very negative and I hated myself. So I had to form these habits in order to break out of that, even after going to jail. So smile. Number 2, exercise. On the list it says exercise isn't just for your body. Regular exercise can help you reduce stress, feelings of anxiety, and symptoms of depression while boosting self-esteem and happiness. Even a small amount of physical activity can make a big difference. You don't have to train for a triathlon or scale a cliff unless that's what you want to do and it makes you happy. The trick is not to overexert. If you suddenly throw yourself into a strenuous routine, you'll probably just end up frustrated. So don't take it overboard. Consider these things to start with. Take a walk around the block. Sign up for a beginner class in yoga or some sort of mixed martial art or even Tai Chi, something less impact, right? Start your day with a 5-minute stretch. Remind yourself of fun activities that you once enjoyed. Maybe you like salsa dancing. Why not go salsa dancing or get a teacher to come to your house? If you're living in Medellin, it literally costs about $8 or at most $10 for an hour class. And 1 hour of salsa dancing is basically cardio, all the cardio you need for that day. And I absolutely agree with this because it's something that when I was going through anxiety, for example, I think a lot of people went through anxiety through the pandemic and the lockdowns. There was a time recently that I went through a feeling of anxiety. I just didn't like it. Your heart rate increases. My hands and arms were going numb, and it was a terrible feeling. And I realized that when I would exercise, that would leave. I don't know how it does it. I don't know what the science is behind it, but for me, exercise definitely makes me happier than if I don't exercise. That's why I try to do it every single day, except for today. Today, I did not go to the gym. I went to the gym yesterday. I was supposed to play basketball this morning, but business got in the way and I couldn't. I had to go to the notary to sign some documents, so I couldn't go today. And then I have to do this now, and then I have the thing with Kyle after this, so I can't I'm not going to go to the gym today, but either way, I go pretty much every day. I do some sort of physical activity. And in Colombia, it's a lot easier to do physical activity because everywhere you go, you're walking. Especially me. I don't have a car, so well, even just going to the cafe, which is like 5 blocks away, it's a good walk. And then on the way back, it's a good walk. And I live on the 5th floor, so I probably go up and down 5 stories at least twice a day. So you're getting some sort of exercise and you're getting away from the desk, etc. So I definitely agree with exercising, and that has made me happy. The third thing that I found on this list was sleep. What this list says, it says no matter how much modern society steers us towards sleep or less sleep, we know that adequate sleep is vital, and it's a vital source to good health for brain function and emotional well-being. Most adults need 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. If you find yourself fighting the urge to nap during the day or just generally feel like you're in a fog, your body may be telling you that you need more rest. Here are a few tips for better night's sleep. Number 1 is to track your sleep. That has worked for me, and I'll go over how that has worked for me here after I go to the list. So track your sleep. Number 2, go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Create a routine. Number 3, reserve the hour before bed as quiet time. Whether it's taking a bath, reading, or something to relax yourself. Number 4, keep your bedroom dark, cool and quiet. Number 5, invest in some good bedding. Number 6, if you have to take a nap, try to limit it to only 15 or 20 minutes. If you constantly have problems sleeping, talk to your doctor. That's number 6. So number 1 really resonates with me because I use an app. I used to have a Fitbit, but I'm not a watch wearer and I don't like wearing rings. I'm not an accessory person. I can have $1 billion and I'll never wear a chain or a watch. It's just not me. It's not what I do. But I like to track my sleep using my phone. There's a sleep app that you can download. There's many sleep apps, but it tracks your REM cycles, your movement, etc. And I love it because I'm able to see how many REM cycles I hit. And that's one thing you may want to educate yourself on. What is good sleep? What do sleep patterns look like, so that when you get this app and you look at your sleep patterns, you're like, oh shit, I hit REM twice, or I woke up during a REM state. That's why I'm so groggy today. It makes sense. So I need to go to sleep an hour earlier. A lot of these sleep apps also have what they call a sleep calculator. So that if you need to wake up, let's say at 7 o'clock in the morning, it'll tell you the different times that you should try to fall asleep so that you don't wake up during a REM cycle. When you wake up groggy in the morning, it's usually because you woke up in that deep sleep state where your alarm went off and you're like, fuck me, I don't want to get up because I was having such a great sleep. You're in deep sleep, and when you're startled out of that, you feel groggy. It takes you a longer time to get going with the day. So for me, the sleep app was huge, and it makes me happier because obviously I have more energy during the day. I don't need to take naps, etc. Quiet time before bed, I do not do this. I don't agree with that. Well, it doesn't reflect what I do. I agree with it because it probably helps people. But for me, I don't do quiet time before bed. I literally watch people play video games, which is pretty loud and chaotic. Sometimes I'll go to bed watching CSI documentaries, like Investigation Discovery, crime files, FBI files. I love watching that. And then I have like these crazy nightmares or dreams, like lucid dreams. And I actually like that. I don't know. I'm weird, but that's how I go to bed. They said, keep your bedroom dark. Yes. And cool. Yes. I have air conditioning. We invested in air conditioning in all of our apartments because for me, that's huge. I like to be able to sleep with covers on. And in Medellin, sometimes it gets really hot at night. So turning on the air conditioning on a timer so that it's cold enough so that I could be wrapped up in blankets. That has been a game changer for my sleep. Invest in good bedding. Yes, my whole life I've been broke and I've never had like really, really good bed. Um, so I bought one from, I forget the name of this company, but anyway, I bought a pretty good mattress and also bedding, like blankets and pillows has made a huge difference. I never even thought about that because I always thought like when I was 22, I went to jail and I was sleeping on a fucking piece of concrete with no pillow. And I'm like, I could sleep anywhere and I don't need a good bed. And then finally, when I got one, I was like, man, where has this been my whole life? And it definitely makes a difference. It makes it a little harder to get out of bed in the morning too, especially if you've got company with you. If you have to take a nap, try to limit it to 20 minutes. I've already said in previous episodes, the reason why I have so much energy is because I went vegan about 4 years ago. And ever since I made that change, I don't have to take naps. Not only did I go vegan, but I also altered my diet. I don't eat sugar. And I should rephrase that. I don't eat processed sugar. I obviously eat natural sugar from fruits. And I don't eat processed carbs like rice, pasta, breads. I only do complex carbs. The only thing that's less complex, I guess, would be like arepas here in Colombia. I do eat arepas, and some of them do have flour, but they're mostly cornmeal. So, yeah, I focused more because as you get older, you start being more conscious about this shit. When I was 20 to 30, even up to my mid 30s, I didn't care. And then once I started to realize that my body, you are what you eat, I guess, I changed, and that has helped me with weight and also sleep. I don't get tired as fast as I used to. When I was younger and eating meat, I would have to take naps during the day, and now I don't. And that was one of the clear differences that I noticed once I stopped eating meat. I'm not saying that you should do it, but that's what's worked for me. Okay, so number 4, we're talking about food. It says, eat with mood in mind. You already know what food, you already know that food choices have an impact on your overall physical health, but some foods can also affect your state of mind. For example, carbohydrates release serotonin, which is a feel-good hormone. Just keep simple carbs. Foods high in sugar and starch to a minimum, because that energy surge is short and you'll crash. Like I just said, simple carbs and sugar, even if you're drinking like those energy drinks, especially those energy drinks, even coffee will get you high energy, but then there'll be a crash. Complex carbs such as vegetables, beans, and whole grains are way better. Lean meat, poultry, legumes, and dairy are high in protein. These foods release dopamine and norepinephrine. 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 So they release dopamine and norepinephrine, which boosts energy and concentration. Highly processed or deep fried foods are great, obviously, but they leave you feeling down. They tend to leave you feeling down, so skipping these meals is probably a good idea. Start by making one better food choice a day. That's how I started. That was my route to veganism. Obviously, I am vegan because of my own conscious beliefs and my own convictions, which I don't push on anybody. But when I did become vegan, I didn't do it one day. I just decided, I'm not going to eat meat today. It was a gradual process of about 6 months. But so it was a gradual process of 6 months, which meant that I started to eat less meat, limiting to one meal a day with meat, and then limiting to 1 day a week of meat, and then finally just leaving it completely, and then going off of cheese and milk, which for me was hard, man. I was a big eater, but I have my own reasons for doing that, and it's been good for my health. So yeah, keeping in mind what you eat helps you sleep. Obviously, another thing that I've done that has helped me sleep well as also was to not eat before going to bed. I know that's kind of a lot of people say that, but I wouldn't practice that before. But now, I usually don't eat. I stop 2 hours before I know I'm going to bed. If I'm going to bed at 12, for example, yesterday I knew I was going. I went to bed at literally at 12. It was like 11:30, 12. So I didn't eat. I was hungry, but I purposely didn't eat because I when I eat, I don't have very good sleep, or I'll wake up in the middle of the night to go pee or whatever. It's like I do drink a cup of water, and that's good enough. But I don't eat before I go to bed. At least 2 hours beforehand, and that's worked for me. Number five, be grateful. 24 ways to be happy. Number five is to be grateful. Simply being grateful can give you a mood. Uh, Simply being grateful can give your mood a big boost. Among other benefits, for example, a recent two-part study found that practicing gratitude can have a significant impact on feelings of hope and happiness. Start each day by acknowledging one thing that you're grateful for. You can do this while you're brushing your teeth or just waiting for that snooze alarm to go off, etc. As you go about your day, try to keep an eye out on pleasant things in your life. They can be big things such as knowing that someone loves you or getting a well-deserved promotion, etc. But they can also be little things such as a coworker who offered you a cup of coffee in the morning, or the neighbor who waved at you. Literally that small. Maybe even just the warmth of the sun on your skin. Living in Medellin has really helped me in this arena of being grateful. And I'm not talking about the big things, because obviously I have learned to be very grateful because of the work that we do with our nonprofit organization, Help Colombia, where we go into low income neighborhoods and you see how they live, and it makes you feel more grateful for what you have, more grateful for the sacrifice that your parents made to give you the life that you have, the education that you got, the nutrition that you got, even down to those core things. Washing your hair and getting lice out of it, literally, that makes you feel so grateful. But I'm not talking about those big things, because not a lot of people get to experience that, because not a lot of people go volunteer or whatever, and that's understandable. And I'm not saying that everyone should. It would be great if they did, but not everybody has either the time, the resources, or the will to do so. But Medellin has helped me in the little things. For example, here it's very customary that if you go into an elevator, everyone's going to say hi to you. And when you leave, everyone says bye. Even at the mall. So it's very easy to be grateful for that. And it's funny because there's studies around the world, or studies that survey people around the world, and Colombia is always on the top of the list for happiest countries on earth. And a lot of cynics and trolls will say that, well, that's just hearsay, or they just interviewed 1,000 people, and Colombians like to lie about their feelings. But I would argue that with the fact that if you ask anybody that's maybe a foreigner living here, and you ask them why they're staying here, many will answer because they are happier here. And living the everyday life here, you just feel happier. On top of that, the weather's great. So, and the people are beautiful. Talking about mainly women, because that's what I look at. But even guys, women that live here will say that guys are good looking here as well. So maybe that has to do with it. But being grateful for me is a lot easier here in Medellin. And obviously, as I'm older and I'm able to appreciate the things that I have in life, especially after being in jail for 2 years, I'm grateful for being able to eat canned beans. I love that. I mean, there's nothing that I'm not grateful for. When you get your freedom taken from you, you feel a lot more grateful for in life. Wilson, Wilson just asked about exercise. How do you get the motivation to be grateful? That's a great question, man, because I have felt in my life times when I don't want to go to the gym and I don't want to be consistent with it. I don't want to go today. Um, and honestly, what I've done for the gym is that every single time that I end the gym, my routine, what even if I just go for 45 minutes, it doesn't matter. Number one, the key is to just show up. Even if you don't want to go, even if in your mind you're going to go, okay, I'm just going to go and walk on the treadmill. Once you're there and you see the other people, especially in Medellin, man, I don't know. I keep talking about Medellin because this is where I live. But when I go to the gym, even when I say in my brain, okay, I'm just going to walk on the treadmill, and then I see all these beautiful booties, my workout goes through the roof, but I just show up. So number one, the way to stay motivated is by showing up. And then number two is by creating something that's fun about that habit, right? I talked about forming good habits before, and this is one little hack that I learned, especially for the gym, is that every time I finish my workout, I finish it on the treadmill and I walk for at least 10 to 15 minutes after I jog, if I'm going to jog at the end. I usually jog at the beginning, do my workout with weights or whether it's push or pull or whatever it is that I'm doing that day. And then I end up off that workout with some sort of cardio, whether it's walking or jogging and then walking, but I end up watching an episode of Family Guy because I really love it and it's so funny to me. And I've watched every single episode, but I rewatch them all the time, and I put it on YouTube. And literally that's what I watch while I'm walking, and I'm just cracking up, laughing there. Or sometimes I'll put on Seinfeld or The Office, but I always end up with something funny and something fun because that has trained my brain into thinking that the gym is going to end up as a fun activity because I'm going to get to watch a 15-minute episode of this funny thing that I like to watch. So that's how I've basically tricked my brain into thinking that the gym is an amazing thing to do, even when I don't feel like going. All right, so number 6, give a compliment or give compliments. Research shows that performing acts of kindness can help you feel more satisfied. Giving a sincere compliment is a quick and easy way to brighten someone's day while giving your own happiness a boost. Catch the person's eye and say it with a smile so that they know you mean it. You might be surprised by how good it makes you feel. If you want to offer someone a compliment on their physical appearance, make sure to do it in a respectful way. This definitely works for me, and I do it now almost as a reflex to give compliments because I wasn't that person, especially growing up in the United States where society is a little colder and men are supposed to be a little harder. You're not supposed to give compliments to other guys, especially if they're like not even really your friends. They're just acquaintances or maybe even a coworker. I don't know about this generation now. This generation seems a lot more soft and weird to me. Like sometimes I lose, there's like a connection gap there when I meet younger people like in their 20s from the United States or early 20s. Even like 19-year. I play basketball with these guys at the university when they come here for exchange programs. And they're different than my generation. My generation, well, I mean, literally all you have to look at are pictures of gangster rap in the 90s compared to gangster rap today where they're wearing tight clothes and pink outfits, right? It's just a different thing. They're a little softer. So maybe this generation's a little different and you can give someone a compliment without being looked at sideways. But for me, it was something that didn't come natural. So I've gotten into the habit of complimenting people even when it doesn't feel right. Like, for example, if someone looks like they've lost weight, but usually I wouldn't even say anything. But literally today it happened. I hadn't seen my friend Brent in a while. And I'm like, whoa, you look great. And usually I would have never said that. But now I just speak what my mind thinks. And I said it, and he felt great, and I felt great saying it. And it was just something that came out. And it's a force of habit now. So for me, I definitely agree with giving compliments to women. Obviously, in Colombia, for some reason, I think maybe Latinas or at least Colombians, at least women from Medellin, I can generalize that many of them do like to be complimented, even on their physical appearance. And if you don't, they feel that it's kind of weird that you didn't. If they change their hair and you notice, that's a great thing. If they did their nails and they changed the color and you say, hey, that color looks great on you, they notice that they smile, you feel great, they feel great. So giving compliments is definitely a top of my list. Number 7, acknowledge the unhappy moments. A positive attitude is generally a good thing, but bad things happen to everyone. It's a part of life. If you get some bad news, make a mistake, or just feel like you're in a funk, don't try to pretend to be happy. Acknowledge the feeling of unhappiness, letting yourself experience it for a moment, then shift your focus towards what made you feel that way and what it might take to recover, to get over this unhappiness. Would a deep breath help? Would a long walk help? Would doing some exercise help? Will talking with someone help? Let that moment pass and take care of yourself. Remember, no one's happy all of the time. And this is absolutely true. This was something that I didn't do before as a younger person. I'm 41 now, and I am able to acknowledge when I'm unhappy, and I don't repress those feelings anymore. Obviously, I've talked to therapists. I've been, like I said, to jail, and I've been court-ordered therapy. I've been court-ordered NA and AA meetings, etc., anger management. So I've gone through this work, even though it was forced. I am very glad, and I continue to do it as an adult to better myself and to form happy relationships. And I feel that I don't have any hate in my life. I don't have any disagreements with people in my life at all. And that is, I think, a feat on its own. So acknowledging when you're unhappy and either discussing it with the person that you're unhappy with or that caused the unhappy moment is a great way to do it. Or just taking a walk, doing exercise, clearing your mind. But for me, talking it over with someone is usually the best answer. Number 8, keep a journal. This is absolutely something I do not do. I'm not a writer. I don't like to write on physical on paper. I've acknowledged that about myself. I would much rather type, and obviously I don't carry my laptop or my tablet everywhere I go. So I do not keep a journal, but I do blog. And that is a sort of journal. I am making these videos, and this is kind of a journal as well. So I'm getting into this whole journaling thing. It says, a journal is a good way to organize your thoughts, analyze your feelings, and make plans. And you don't have to be a literary genius or write volumes to benefit. It can be as simple as sitting down and jotting down a few thoughts before you go to bed, or putting certain things in writing that make you nervous. You can always shred it when you're finished, right? Especially if it's on a piece of paper, you can just rip it up. And I think that also has some sort of a release when you write something and you tear it up and throw it away. Not sure what to do with all the feelings that end up on the page, or guide to, so if you keep a journal, I think that's great. I don't keep a journal. Like I said, my journal is this stream and these videos that I'm making. I'm doing it every single day for the next 2 years, and who knows how much longer after this I'll be doing this. But I'm really loving it right now. It's obviously therapeutical for me, and I'm hoping that it resonates with people and people can relate to it and maybe help them get along either in their day, their life, or whatever it is, right? So keeping a journal. Number 9. Face stress head on. It says, life is full of stressors and it is impossible to avoid them. There's no need to. Stanford psychologist Kelly McGonigal says that stress isn't always harmful, and we can even change our attitudes about stress. Learn more about the upside of stress. Instead of letting yourself get overwhelmed, try to tackle the stressor head on. This might mean initiating an uncomfortable conversation with someone or putting in some extra work. But the sooner you tackle it, the sooner the pit in your stomach will start to shrink. And this is absolutely true for me. I just talked about it, that when I feel unhappy about something, I would much rather talk about it now than when I was younger. I'm not a big talker still. I'm not like, I don't share all of my feelings with everyone. And that's usually the reason why I don't have a long-term relationship. And I've been in Medellin, where you can find beautiful women literally around the corner. And I've dated many, but I'm not a big talker, and I'm not a big talker about emotions especially. But I have found that when I do talk about an unhappy moment with someone, that it relieves all this stress. It relieves all the stress that I was carrying, and it definitely helps. So I definitely agree with this one. I just don't do it as much as I would like to, especially when it comes to women. All right, next section, they talk about weekly habits. So let's see if any of you guys can relate to these weekly habits, and I'll talk about whether I can relate to these weekly habits. Let's talk about number 10. Weekly habit to get into is to declutter. And this is something that I absolutely agree with. This blog post says, decluttering sounds like a big project, but setting aside just 20 minutes a week can give you a big impact. What can you do in 20 minutes? Lots. Set a timer on your phone and take 15 minutes to tidy up a specific area of one room. Say your closet, or taking the junk out of a drawer even. Put everything in its place and toss or give away any extra clutter that's not serving you anymore. Keep a designated box for gifts or giveaways that'll make things a little easier, and avoid creating more clutter. Use the remaining 5 minutes to do a quick walkthrough of your living space, putting away whatever stray items end up in your path. You can do this trick once a week, once a day, or anytime you feel like your space is getting out of control. I absolutely agree with this, but I grew up with a Colombian mother who is from Santander. And if you know anything about female stereotypes of Colombians, is that the woman from Santander is usually very tough. And she was very tough on us to organize and clean and everything, and I hated it. And I always told my mom when I was a kid that when I grow up, I'm going to live in a fucking mess and I'm never going to make my bed. And literally today, the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is make my bed. And before having money and being able to hire a cleaning lady to come at least 2 or 3 times a week to make sure that everything's in its place and organized and clean, I would do it myself. When I had roommates, my best roommates were always the ones that were either obsessive compulsive, literally lived with someone like that, but it was awesome and I liked it. And then Joelle, who's anal retentive with organization and not only organization, but aesthetics. So I have to keep things organized and clean. And I am a very big proponent of throwing shit away. Not just throwing away, but here in Colombia, many people need things. So for example, I only wear black shirts and then the flowered shirts that Joelle gifts me every other day, or every now and then, I should say. So I literally give away everything else that I don't wear. It's very easy for me to do. Some people have a hard time getting rid of things, especially if you have like a hoarding compulsion or something. But even at a minor point, some people form emotional attachments to things. So letting go or practicing this could probably help you, decluttering your space. Number 11, see your friends. Humans are social beings, and having close friends can make us happier. What do you miss? Who do you miss? Reach out to them. Make a date to get together, or simply have a long phone call. In adulthood, it can feel next to impossible to make new friends. But it's not about how many friends you have. It's about the quality of the relationships, even if it's just with 1 or 2 people. Try getting involved in a local volunteer group or taking a class. Both can help you connect with like-minded people in your area. and chances are they're looking for friends as well. That's why they join these groups. Uh, and I agree with this because I've been able to form an amazing group of friends, my core group here, and even people that are outside of my core group, like people that come here and visit, and then we meet. Whether they rented one of our Airbnb apartments and they loved it and they loved how we treated them, and they come back, and even though they don't stay with us, they'd say, "Hey, what are you doing? Let's hang out, grab a beer, grab a coffee." Even those people are so positive and like-minded that it makes me happier. I am definitely happy with my core group of friends here. I was happy in the US, but at the same time, it wasn't going anywhere. I always knew that I had friends that were just for drinking, friends that were just for watching baseball games, friends that were just for, commiserating, etc. Here, I have one core group of friends, and it's always for motivational purposes, for work purposes. It's like it's very different. The people that I surround myself with now, as opposed to when I was in my 20s, which is awesome to me. Number 12, plan your week. Feel like you're flailing about in the week. Try sitting down at the end of every week and making a basic list for the following week. Even if you don't stick to the plan, blocking out time where you can do the laundry, go grocery shopping, or tackle projects at work can help you quiet your mind. You can get a fancy planner, but even a sticky note on your computer, a piece of scrap paper in your pocket can do the job. I use my cell phone. I love technology, so I plan my week using my calendar. I use Asana for task management. I use Slack for communication within my work group, and I keep work group messages apart from my personal messages. I use WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger for personal messages. So using technology for me has worked to plan out my week, and I love it because I even plan out when my basketball games are. I plan out if a friend is in town and just wants to have coffee. I put it in the calendar, and I get a 10-minute reminder. I plan out these streams every single day, and I put them in the calendar, and the alarm goes off, and it says, "Okay, stop whatever the fuck you're doing and start doing this." So for me, that works, and it makes me happier because I feel more productive, and feeling more productive is a great feeling. It's hard to be productive sometimes, but if you organize yourself, it can be done. Number 13, ditch your phone. This is something I absolutely don't agree with because I just said, I don't use watches. I don't wear anything. And my phone is the only thing that I always keep. I do agree with ditching social media, though. I do set timers on how much time I spend on social media a day. Sometimes I'll go the whole day without looking at social media. So for me, those are time wasters. But at the same time, what I've done is I've unfollowed things that are time wasters. Like, for example, I like basketball. So I follow basketball channels, but I follow way more motivational speakers than I do basketball players or basketball channels on Instagram that show me highlights of basketball, right? So literally, if I'm scrolling, I'm watching, instead of looking at booty all day, which many of us do, or things that waste our time like memes, a lot of the times it's basically motivational speakers giving me motivation. And it reminds me like, okay, I got to get off this thing and work on being productive. So ditching the phone, I don't ditch the phone. I just ditch social media. For me, that's worked, and it's made me happier in the long run because I'm not wasting time, and wasting time makes me unhappy. Number 14, get into nature. And I don't agree with this one because, for one, I'm not a big lover of nature. I do love nature. I'm vegan, for fuck's sake. But I'm not a big fan of going into nature and roughing it and doing all that bullshit like camping and stuff. That looks fun on TV. It's like snow for me. Like, yeah, looking at snow on TV and people skiing and snowboarding, that looks awesome. I love to do that. And then I realized that you have to go bear this cold. Then I don't do it. I don't want to do it. I'd rather see nature while I play Fortnite. So Getting into nature is not my thing, but according to a 2016 study, spending 30 minutes or more a week in green spaces can help lower your blood pressure and depression. So good thing I don't have high blood pressure or I'm not depressed, so fuck nature. Number 15, explore meditation. Another one that I don't agree with because don't sit down and meditate. I don't even masturbate anymore. And that's another thing that maybe I should do a whole episode on not masturbating and my challenge that I did and I continue to do. And it's just been an awesome thing. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. But meditation or masturbation, I don't do. But it says that there are many methods of meditation to explore. They can involve movement, focus, spirituality, or a combination of all three. Meditation doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as sitting quietly with your own thoughts for 5 minutes. Even the deep breathing exercises mentioned earlier can serve as a form of meditation. So they mentioned some deep breathing. I don't do all that shit, honestly. Like, I guess if you actually think about it, working out at the gym is kind of meditation because you're not thinking about anything other than the task at hand. So X that. I do meditate, and that's at the gym. And I also masturbate at the gym, so it's kind of like a win-win. So yeah, meditation, I don't do it mindfully. I maybe do it as a secondhand effect of exercise. So yeah, explore meditation. Maybe I should explore more on that topic. Number 16, consider therapy. If you would have told me this when I was a kid, I would have thought, only crazy people go to therapy. But seeing a therapist or a psychologist is definitely helpful, and it has helped me in my life, and it continues to help me because, like I said, I'm not a big talker, and I don't like to express my emotions. Literally doing what I'm doing right now and streaming live on the internet for thousands or millions of people to watch one day is something that has taken me 41 years to do. And I didn't do it by myself. I've had therapists. I've gone to group therapy, one-on-one counseling, etc. throughout my life, and I continue to work on myself. And it's made me happier. I literally am very, very happy that I can do this and share this with you. The article says, we're certainly happier when we learn how to cope with obstacles. When you're faced with a problem, think about what you're going through, what got you through something similar in the past. So let me read that again. It says, we're certainly happier when we learn how to cope with obstacles. When we're faced with a problem, think about what got you through something similar in the past. Would it work here? What else can you try? If you feel like you're hitting a roadblock, consider speaking with a therapist on a weekly basis. You don't need to have a diagnosed mental health condition or overwhelming crisis to seek therapy. Therapists are trained to help people improve coping skills. Plus, there's no obligation to continue once you start. Even just a few sessions can help you add some new goodness to your emotional toolbox. Worried about the cost? Here's how to afford therapy on a budget. So this article tells you how to afford therapy. For me, it's very easy. I make friends with psychologists and therapists here in Colombia. It's very funny because here in Colombia, a lot of people major in psychology or in psychology. So it's very easy to find it here in Medellin. I could see how it's more difficult in the United States because not everybody studies psychology. But yeah, it's easier here. So I do literally have friends. I have scheduled tomorrow at 2 p.m. to talk with a friend who is a psychologist. And it's a new thing that I'm doing with her. So I'll let you know how that's going. But for me, it's awesome. And as a kid and even as an adult, I hate when people call me out on my shit. I feel like they're attacking me. But after being in therapy for so long, I've been able to cope with that feeling, and I understand where it comes from. So I react better, but that feeling doesn't go away, or it hasn't gone away. Number 17, find a self-care ritual. This one's very big for me. Like many of you know, I do reflexology. Someone comes to my house and literally fucking massages my feet to the point of pain to work out. It's a form of therapy. Reflexology every Tuesday. I get my nails done. I literally go to a beauty salon that is pink and it's got bowls and everything. It's very feminine. But they do the best job, honestly. It's like when you go there after they do your nails and your feet, your feet and your hands, you feel so good. I've never done this in my life. If I were back in the United States, since men are so emasculated there and the culture is of emasculation and, we have to be hard and, to prove ourselves to women. Many men don't do that there, but here in Colombia, it's kind of a common thing for a guy to get his nails done. So I've started doing that probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and I do it weekly basis. I also go to the barber every single week on Friday. I'll be going tomorrow. One, because it's way more affordable here in Colombia. On top of that, I make way more money than I was making before, so I'm able to do it. And second, it makes me happy. It makes me feel good. So self-care ritual. TLC. It's great. Going to a massage therapist, great. The deep tissue massages, great. I do that at least once a month. Number 18, give back. If you find that giving daily compliments provide... Okay, so giving back, this article talks about feeling good when you give, right? And for me, that's why I started Help Colombia. Not only because I saw a need, or we as the founders of Help Colombia saw a need, but we also found a need within ourselves to fulfill our feeling of giving, right? And when you give, even if it's just time, if you don't have money to give, that's okay. You don't need to have money in order to donate. You can donate time. You can literally donate energy just by showing up and smiling and helping just once a month to your local food or your local soup kitchen or a local shelter, etc. They always want volunteers. So giving back for me has definitely made my life happier. And not only that, it gives it a purpose. I've realized that my purpose in life is to help people, whether it's through this stream that I'm doing here and these videos that I'm recording every single day for the next 2 years, or through Help Colombia, where we go into neighborhoods that are less fortunate. So it has given me a purpose, and that wasn't on my radar before, but I literally just started showing up. I started to just be a helping hand to give out groceries. And then slowly but surely it grew on me. And then I realized that this is my purpose in life, is to help people. Many people have helped me in my life. Many people have sacrificed for me, like my parents. Now it's time for me. I don't have children, so it's not like I have someone to sacrifice for. So I'm going to do it for everyone that I can reach. So giving back, I absolutely agree with, and that's something that I practice very frequently. Number 19, take yourself out. And this is something that I can definitely relate with. I don't have a problem going to the movies by myself. I've never had a problem doing that. And I don't have a problem going to the bar by myself. I literally go to concerts by myself here because I don't have a lot of friends that are into like rock music or even metal. I'll go to like a metal bar just by myself just to go listen to Tool as loud as possible and be around people that are like-minded. So I don't have a problem with that. But when I do it, it makes me feel good because not only am I doing something that I like to do and I'm comfortable with myself, but I also meet people while doing that. Every single time I go to a bar to watch a band play, I always get invited to a drink, or I literally invite people to a drink or a bottle. Everyone's, headbanging or whatever. And it's like, oh, let me buy the next round. Boom, instant friends. So yeah, I'm not a social butterfly, I would say, but I don't mind going out by myself and meeting new people, and it makes me feel good. Number 20, create a thought list. I've never done this. This is on the list. I've never done this. You arrive for an appointment with 10 minutes to spare. What do you do with that time? Pick up your cell phone and scroll through social media. Worry about a busy week you have ahead of you. Take control of your thoughts during these brief windows of time. At the start of each month, make a short list of happy memories or things you're looking forward to on a small piece of paper or on your phone. When you find yourself waiting for a ride, standing in line at the grocery store, or just with a few minutes to kill, break out the list. You can even use it when you're just generally feeling down and feel you need to change your thoughts. That's actually pretty cool. I've never thought of that and I've never done it. It was on this list that I found. Creating a thought list. Actually, if you think about it, sometimes what I do on spare time, instead of scrolling through social media, I scroll through my pictures. And that makes me happy because I tend to, every time I go out with friends or I go to the beach or whatever, I'm always taking pictures and I try to take selfies with people. And I never post them. If you look at my social media, it's not full of selfies. I literally have them on my phone because I like to look through them, and it reminds me about those happy times. So that's my thought list. That's actually great. I've been doing this whole time, and I didn't even know that I have a thought list, which is my camera roll. I don't write shit down on a piece of paper. I don't like doing that. Number 21, take time to reflect. The start of a new year is a good time to stop and take inventory of your life. And we're kind of still at the start. Set aside some time to catch up with yourself the way you would with an old friend. Ask yourself, how are you doing? What have you been up to? Are you happier than you were a year ago? Oh, that's a good question. Are you happier than you were a year ago? Let me think. Last year, February, I was in Carnival, naked, in a hotel room. No, I'm not happier than I was last year, but I will be in Carnival next month, so maybe I'll be happier next month. But try to avoid the pitfalls of judging yourself too harshly for your answers. You've made it to another year. That's plenty. If you find that your mood hasn't improved much over the last year, consider making an appointment with your doctor or talking to a therapist. You might be dealing with depression or even an underlying physical condition that's impacting your mood. That's pretty serious, but I do reflect a lot, actually. I like to reflect, and doing this stream is helping me even reflect even more, because now I'm thinking about how I was doing last year compared to this year, and I honestly feel way more productive, and productivity makes me feel happy. So you could say that I feel happier right now in this moment in time than last year. So that's good. Number 22, reevaluate your goals. People change. So think about where you're heading and consider if that's still where you want to go. There's no shame in changing your game. Let go of any goals that no longer serve you, even if they sound nice on paper. That's a really good one, because my goal for this year was to get my pilot's license. It's been a childhood dream. I was afraid of heights as a kid. I'm no longer afraid of heights. I'm no longer afraid of flying, although I still get a little nervous. But before, I'd have to get drunk to get on an airplane, imagine. But now, after traveling to many places within Colombia and outside of Colombia, I've gotten over that fear, and I want to tackle it even more head on by learning to fly. So that's my goal. That was my goal. But something in my gut told me that I needed to focus on this. So I left that goal alone, and I said, okay, I'm going to postpone my pilot's license for next year, and we'll see where that goes. But this is what I have to do first. So reevaluating my goals is something that I actually do regularly, and they change up. My goals always evolve. This stream is going to evolve. It's already evolved from when it started, when I was just playing video games and talking shit on the microphone. So reevaluating goals for me has been huge. Number 23, take care of your body. And I absolutely agree with this one. It says, you hear it all the time, including several times in this article, but your physical and mental health are closely intertwined. I'm going to read that again. You hear it all the time, including several times in this article, but your physical and mental health are closely intertwined. As you build habits to improve your happiness, make sure to follow up with routine appointments to take care of your body. See your doctor regularly. Take care of your chronic health conditions if you have any. See your dentist regularly. Get your eyes checked regularly. And Yeah, taking care of your body is a big one. I never had health insurance. I've never had health insurance as an adult. And just recently, when we started making way more money, I literally have like the best health plan now in Colombia that you can get. And I take advantage of it. I literally set appointments on my phone and I'm like, okay, I need to go see about my hand. That's all fucked up. I got to go see about my shoulder, rotator cuff. I literally, and it's made me feel better. I don't do it, obviously, every month. I do it for the things that have long been standing, like my hand and my shoulder. And it's helped because I've learned how to do therapy for it and I feel better. I'm a better athlete because of it. And working out and eating well has made me overall happier. When I look in the mirror, I like what I look at. And when I get naked in front of a girl, if she doesn't shudder, I feel happy. So yeah, that's definitely a plus. Taking care of my body is definitely on the top of the list. I don't think it should have been 23. It should be higher on the list. Number 24, and finally, let go of grudges. And I purposely left this one at 24 because it's a huge one. This article says, this is often easier said than done, but you don't have to do it for the other person. You do it for yourself. Sometimes offering forgiveness or dropping a grudge is more about self-care than compassion for others. Take stock of your relationship with others. Are you harboring any resentment or ill will towards anyone? If so, consider reaching out to that person in an effort to bury the hatchet. This doesn't have to be a reconciliation. You may just need to end the relationship and move on. If reaching out isn't an option, try getting your feelings out in a letter. You don't even have to send it to them. Just write it down. Just getting your feelings out of your mind and into the world can be freeing. I really, really agree with this one because, like I said, as a younger person, even as a young adult, even into my 30s, I was a person that would hold grudges because I'm not a big talker or I don't like to release my emotions, and I still don't like to do that. But one thing that I've learned to do is that if I ever have beef with someone, if someone made me feel bad, I let them know. Or if I feel that I made someone feel bad, I confront them. And it's happened before where I say something because sometimes I just say shit, especially when I'm drunk. I just say shit and it could have made someone feel bad. And you feel that energy. I hate that feeling of tension when you meet again with someone that you made feel bad or that you may have said something that you shouldn't have said. I really, really hate that, and because it doesn't make me happy and it's not conducive to my healthy lifestyle and my happiness. So I confront that, and learning to do that through therapy with psychologists and therapists, counselors, etc., has helped me be happier. I'm still not perfect at it, but I continue to work at it. And I can honestly say today, I don't have beef or hate with anybody. There have been people or haters that watch our podcast and say, I don't like that guy, but I don't feel resentment towards them, and because I don't know them, right? If it were like, a family member saying that, I would probably feel bad, and confront them about it. But a stranger online, it doesn't matter. But when it's someone I know, confronting them and letting go of that grudge is the best thing that I've done in my life, and I consider it a top priority for your happiness, is to get rid of these grudges, these resentments, right? So that's the last one, number 24. Again, this is Life Hacks with Andrew. I am Andrew Messia. I'm doing a live stream every single day where I go over either motivational information, talking about business, about life, about health, about anything that my heart desires, in an attempt to grow my YouTube subscriber count, grow my Facebook followers, and monetize this within 2 years, and to feel productive and to be happy overall. That's honestly what this is all about, is feeling happy. So thank you guys for joining. I'm going to be live on Kyle's channel. What is his name on YouTube? I forget. Something Money Guy. I always forget his damn name. Money. What is it? Oh, here it is. I'm going to tell you right now once I find it. The Travel Money Guide, duh. Yeah, so I'll be on live on YouTube. Just look up the Travel Money Guy, and we're going to be talking about life here. He's going to interview me about my life here in Medellin. So if you want to come in and talk about that or ask questions, you can. It'll be live. Let's look at some of the comments here. I always need to plan stuff, especially with the kids. Yeah, I can imagine. Having kids has to be very difficult. I mean, I literally just volunteer, or we have our charity where we teach kids every Saturday, and lesson planning is huge, because if you don't have a plan with kids, they fucking run all over you. So planning is huge. Alexa says, how do you make this not monotonous? I'm assuming he was talking about a point, maybe about the exercise thing of not being monotonous. I don't know, man. Yeah, monotony is a huge thing. And I think monotony comes from a feeling of not wanting to be somewhere or not wanting to do something. So, for example, the way that my office was set up before, I would never work out of my office because I didn't like it. It was boring. I would much rather work outside of the office. And I still do that. I go out and I work from the cafe in the morning. But now I look forward to coming to the office because I've changed it up. I've put plants in here. And I also changed it to be a streaming thing. So I've got the camera here. So it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like important. I don't know how to explain it, but work now is not as monotonous as it was before when I came into my office here in my apartment, because I changed the setting, which to me was a big game changer for my productivity as well. So today we talked about 24 ways to be happy. Thank you guys for joining. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Life Hacks with Andrew. I'll see you guys tomorrow